back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my boob job. I'm going to let you guys know how much mine cost, what size I went from. I'm going to show you guys my before and afters too. And we're just going to talk about the things you need to know before getting a boob job if you're getting one yourself. Just because there is a lot of things you do need to know before just jumping into it. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on all of my social media, which is linked in my YouTube. And give this video a big thumbs up. Alright, so I just want to start this video off by saying, before you do anything with your boobs or you do any surgery, do research about the doctor. Just because I made that mistake, I didn't do any research about my doctor. So that kind of backfired on me because now I have to get mine redone. Not because he was a bad doctor, not because like anything went wrong, but I have capsular contraction in one of my boobs. And if you guys don't know what that means, I'll insert it right here, the definition. And also, whenever I was getting my boobs done, like you go in, you sign this paperwork. It's like, what do you want your boobs to look like? What profile do you want your boobs to look like? Do you want saline or silicone? And you kind of pick everything, and like there's pictures and shows you like what you want your boobs to look like. And I put that I wanted C cups, and for some reason, I don't know what happened during my surgery. I don't know if a C cup didn't look good on me. I don't know what, but I came out of surgery with double D's. And that's not what I asked for. So now I have these really big boobs that I'm gonna have to get redone. And most likely if I go smaller, they're gonna have to do a lift and everything like that, because my boobs are so big right now that if they just take out the implants and they put smaller implants, there's gonna be a lot of skin because of how much my boobs have stretched out from having such big boobs. So just before you go into surgery, make sure that you are brutally honest about what size you want, because most doctors will not give you the size you want. So just make sure that you tell them that you want to be a certain size and tell them that size you want to be. Because I didn't know this going in. I went in not knowing anything about a boob job. I didn't do any research. I didn't do any research on my doctor. And I went in thinking like, okay, well if I put a C cup, I'm gonna be a C cup. That's not what happens. I guess that's not what happened with my doctor. My mom, happened the same thing to her. She came out with really big boobs and she had to get hers redone because they were so big. And so just tell them what size you want and stick to it. And it doesn't matter if you're being annoying about it, because I promise you in the long run, if you are strict about what size you want, you will not regret it, because you will not have these huge boobs that don't fit into anything, or you're like, I have a small waist, but I look big and everything because everything hangs off of my boobs because they are so big. So just keep that in mind. And that's also another thing that you have to look at whenever you do get a boob job. You will have to go up in sizes and everything, and things don't look the same on you anymore unless you wear tight stuff. Like, I cannot wear stuff that hangs off of my boobs because my stomach is actually like way in here. But if I wear stuff that hangs off of my boobs, I literally look the size of this room. So just keep that in mind. That's just one of the huge things that I wish I would have known, that someone would have told me before I jumped into this. And yeah. And then the next thing is, just know that like your surgery is going to be an investment, because these are not going to last you your whole life. You're going to have to get them redone. You could get capsular contraction, which is what I have in my left boob. So no, I have to get them redone because it's so painful and stuff like that. So just know that it's going to be a long-term investment, because you have to get them redone every so often. And then some could pop, some could do this, some could rupture. So it's like, there's always these things that you have to look further in the future to, because it's not going to be just a one-time thing and you're going to live with these for the rest of your life, if that makes sense. And especially another huge thing is saline or silicone. I have saline just because when I got them, I was 19 years old and I knew I was going to have to get them redone. So I didn't want to spend the money on silicone, because silicone is a lot more expensive. And saline, like if it ruptures inside of you, it's just like sterile salt water. So it will absorb into your body. But if silicone ruptures inside of you, it can actually kill you. So that's why I was like, I'm not gonna, it's my first time, so I'm just gonna do saline. I'm gonna see how I like them. So that's why I picked saline personally for myself. If you want silicone, then do silicone. But a lot of people do get silicone. Silicone, I've noticed, if you get silicone, your boobs are a lot perkier. I don't know why or what it is, but saline more is like a natural look in a way, I guess. But yeah, that's another thing you need to look for too. Do your research on saline and silicone because it will tell you a lot. I know that a lot of states, if you're under 21, you can't even get silicone. So just keep that in mind whenever you're getting your surgery too. That's another factor you have to play in, is if you want saline or silicone. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the cost with everything. So my boobs were $3,300, which is very cheap for a boob job. I got quoted in California because I was going to get them done here when we're here, and I got quoted $16,000 for saline, which is absolutely stupid. Do not do that. I advise you to travel to a different state. Look out of state if you live in California, because it is stupid expensive for a boob job here. I literally got my boobs for $3,300 versus $15,000. So if it's your first time, I advise you take a fly out of state, because you can get them a lot cheaper and you can save almost 10 grand by doing it. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about, just to let you guys know, like whoever's looking for it. Even if it's not in California, it may be more expensive in other states. Look out of state. Like, I got mine done in Dothan, Alabama, but I lived in Panama City, Florida. So I literally drove to my surgery the morning of. I didn't drive like my grandmother took me. So she drove me to surgery, and then when my surgery was done, we literally drove right back home. And that was that. So just make sure you look out of state if you live anywhere where it's stupid expensive, because do not pay $15,000 for a boob job, because it is not worth that. Like, you can save so much money by looking out of state. So I definitely advise you to do that. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is like how I felt after my surgery and how quick I went back to work and stuff like that. So after my surgery, I woke up and like I had bandages on my boobs, like these really tight I don't know what they were. They were like these tight bandages things, I guess. And literally it didn't really hurt at all. Like, all I felt was a lot of pressure. It just felt really tight, and it felt like bricks on my chest, if that makes sense. Like, nothing was like excruciating pain. It was just a lot of pressure from my boobs going from so small to so big. So that's like the only thing that really hurt. I didn't take any pain medicine after my surgery, just because like they gave me oxycodone with my surgery, and I couldn't take it because I got super sick to my stomach and was throwing up. So I literally had to take ibuprofen after my surgery, but I didn't even need the oxycodone because it was not bad at all. I was literally back to work like 5 days after my surgery, I think. And so it was super easy surgery. It doesn't hurt at all. Like, I was asleep. They put me to sleep. Obviously, when I woke up, like, I was just super, like, it was uncomfortable. It was just a ton of pressure, like I said, but it was nothing excruciating, and I could do it over and over again. So if you're worried about like if it's gonna hurt, if you're gonna be dying, you're not. Like, some people may be different, I don't know, but me, myself, I was totally fine. Like, it did not bother me at all, and it wasn't bad at all, and I would totally do it again. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about like where they cut you and insert the implants, because I know a lot of people are really like specific about scars. So you can either go in your armpit, you can go under your boob, or you can go around your nipples. So I went under my boob just because like whenever I didn't have boobs, you can't see them because how like your boobs look, they cut you where your boobs fold over. So like you can't see my crease unless like I lift my arms up like that. You can see like the cut where they cut me. So that's like another huge thing. Like, do your research on that. I wish myself that I would have gone through my armpit, but a lot of people told me like if I go through my armpit, it can cause my implants to go like make my boobs go outwards, because they can't do it from like a straight on direction. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've been told. I would have to do more research about it, but like maybe next time, like when I get them redone again, I might go through my armpit, just because I still have really big scars. They're not like popping out or anything. They're just kind of dark. You can see them. That's basically what it is. You can see the scars, and I was told that you weren't going to be able to see the scars, but my incision scar is like this. So it was a pretty big incision scar if you go under your boobs, but I know if you go through your armpit, it's literally like this. So just keep that in mind too. Like I said, do your research on the different ways that you can go in, and you should be good. Like, you get to pick whatever way. I didn't really get to pick. My doctor basically told me like we were gonna go under, I guess because of how my boobs looked before, like he knew. So you're allowed to pick where you want to go. Like don't let your doctor tell you where you're gonna go through, because you can pick yourself. I don't really advise the nipple, just because with a boob job itself, like your nipple sensation can either go away or get really like where they can't even be touched. So that's another thing, is like you can either lose all your nipple sensation and not have any feeling in your nipples at all, or have like the craziest, like it hurts when people touch them, which is what happened to me. Like I have very sensitive nipples now from my surgery. I don't know why. Like I went under my boobs, so I don't know why they're so sensitive now, but that happened to me. And just know, like, it usually does happen to people that get boob jobs, because they're cutting so many nerves in your boobs. They can either cut the nerve like to make you have no feeling, or I don't know what happened to me, but like I can't even barely like touch mine or anything like that. So also, like another thing, where my scars are, it's super numb, if that makes sense. I don't have feeling where my scars are. I guess like the surgery cut all my nerves right there, and I cannot feel under my boob, and it kind of hurts in a way, but not really. Like it just is sensitive to touch. And to this day, like a couple years later, like my scars should not be as big and as like they're not big, but they're like still the size of surgery, and they haven't really gone away. And I've used like Mederma, I've used all this stuff to try to get it to go away, so I guess they're not gonna go away. That's why I don't want to go back under my boob when I get them redone, because I don't want to open that scar back up. I just want to go through my armpit or whatever I have to do. So keep that in mind, is like the placement of your scar whenever you're doing it. Just do research on it and pick where you want it to be. So another thing I want to let you guys know, whenever you're getting like doing all your paperwork and stuff, you'll have the option to pick if you want to go under your muscle or on top of your muscle. So I went under my muscle just because like all the research I've done and everything, that's what I wanted to do myself. You can go on top of the muscle, but a lot of doctors like don't advise it, because like your breast implant can move around and stuff, but if it's under the muscle, it's like in place. So that's why I went under the muscle. And yeah, so you can pick that too. That's another thing you'll have to pick. But also, you want to make sure you massage your boobs even like the day after your surgery, just because if you don't, it can just cause a lot of complications, and like they will like preach that to you whenever you're after your surgery. Like make sure you massage your boobs, because I didn't, and I think that's why I had capsular contracture, because I didn't like want to touch my boobs because they were so sensitive. So just make sure you do it as bad as it hurts, because I promise you, you don't want capsular contracture because it's so painful. So that's just another huge thing that I thought of off the top of my head. But I'm going to show you guys my before and afters now. And so we're going to start with the before. So here's the before. And so they were super small. That's why like I didn't want to go as large as I did, because they were so small and I didn't want my skin to have to stretch that far. But you know, we're here now. So then this is the day of my surgery. You can kind of see, like, you can see the bandages, and they weren't like very swollen yet because it was the day of my surgery. And then the day after my surgery, they started getting a little bit more swollen. You can totally see it. And then definitely the few days later, that's when they started getting really swollen. So that's what you have to look out for too. Like, don't go buy bras and stuff like right after your surgery, because they're gonna swell and they're gonna shrink. And you won't know your true size until a couple months later, because they're gonna be so swollen from the surgery. So just keep that in mind. Do not go spend the money on bras and stuff right after your surgery. And during your surgery, you will need like a clip bra in the front. They'll tell you to get those. Like, you go through all of that obviously, but they have to have like unclipping in the front so you don't reach back. So there, you can get them at like Walmart, I think is where I got mine, and you can just unclip it and take it off. So that's just another huge thing that I want to let you guys know. All right guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope that helped whoever really needs like information. Just know, like, it's just a ton of research. Just do your research before you do it, and you should be golden. Like, and just go to a really good doctor. And like I said, just follow all the steps in my video and you should be golden. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on all of my social media, and give this video a big thumbs up. I hope you guys have an awesome day.